Hey guys, so let's talk about last night's episode of The Originals. It was a really great episode. There were a lot of flashbacks and a lot of backstory. And we also got introduced to a new villain, which I thought was really interesting. Probably the biggest news from this episode is Klaus meeting his real father. So we know that Michael is not really Klaus's father, that his mother had an affair with a werewolf, hence why Klaus is a hybrid. And yeah, his father is alive again. Basically, we get that Esther dragged him over from the other side before it collapsed. Really because I think she's trying to tempt Klaus with the idea of starting over and getting a chance to live life with his real father. So remember last week, it was all about Esther and Elijah and her trying to kind of break him down. This week it was all about Klaus and Esther. And she basically laid out her whole offer for him, but Klaus is pretty much not fallen for it. It was interesting to see Klaus's initial reaction, right, when he saw his dad, because he thought that it was his mother, that his mother was kind of making him hallucinate and that it wasn't real. But then when it turns out it is real, Klaus does the Klaus thing and really kind of hardens himself. So there's a lot of crap to work through there for sure. I think it would be interesting for Klaus to have a real father and to have somebody who actually loves him and cares for him. And this guy doesn't seem like much of a pushover, so yeah, I'm kind of excited about where that's going to be heading. Elijah is still asleep, but Klaus does manage to rescue him in this episode. Really, Esther kind of finally gives him over because I think she thinks her work is done there. So I'm going to be interested to see what happens when Elijah wakes up. He better not be falling for any of her crap. That's all I know. In other news, let's see. Haley spends the episode trying to rescue Oliver. She does manage to get him, and he makes this rousing speech to the rest of the wolves. And yeah, I really think we're starting to see the beginning of the wolves starting to reunite again. Haley goes out into the woods at one point and she meets Klaus's dad before we realize who he is. And also Jackson is out there. Oh my gosh, you guys, Jackson is back. Love him. But Jackson needs to kind of step up and be the alpha. And Oliver dies by the end of the episode, but kind of his last plea to Jackson is for him to kind of step up and to take that role. So I have a feeling he's going to do that. And I also think Klaus's dad's going to play a big role in that as well, and kind of helping the wolves kind of come together and actually form a pack. There was a bit with Cami and Finn as well, right? Where Cami realizes that her advisor is actually a Michelson, and then she tries to kind of play the other side of that. So he doesn't realize that she knows who he is for real. And so we'll see how long that really lasts. Now let's talk about some of the flashbacks, right? Because let's talk about our new big bad that is coming. Her name is Dahlia, and she is Esther's sister. At the beginning, we see this flashback. We get that Esther couldn't have children, and she went to her sister, and Esther pretty much begged her to help her have children. And so Dahlia does. Dahlia obviously does something so that Esther obviously is able to have lots of children. But in the end of the episode, we kind of see the price that Esther paid for that magic. Somewhere in the back of my once upon a time watching mind, I can hear Mr. Gold saying, "Magic comes with a price, dearie." And the price for Esther, it seems pretty darn high. Basically, all this time we've thought that the Michelson's firstborn child was killed by the plague or something. No, not so much. It turns out that Auntie Dahlia came and took her because that was the price. That Esther give her her firstborn, but not only her firstborn, the firstborn of every generation. Which explains why Esther felt like she needed to deal with Klaus's daughter. Now the scary part is that everybody thinks that Klaus's daughter is dead when we know that she's really not. The problem that we learn at the end of the episode is that if she's not dead, that means that Dahlia is coming back, because that means the price hasn't been paid and she's basically coming for everybody is what Esther said. So I'm a little excited and a little frightened by that. I think the whole time, that I've been watching this season and you've seen it's been the Michelson family, drama and dysfunction. There's a part of me that has been thinking in the back of my mind, wouldn't it be cool if there was some sort of big bad that came and they all had to really unite to survive? And Dahlia could really be that. So I'm kind of excited about the possibility of that. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think we're going to be having any Michelson sleepovers, and I don't think Klaus and his dad are going to be braiding each other's hair or anything like that, but it would be really cool to see the two of them fighting side by side together. I love when that happens in storytelling, when enemies have to come together to kind of fight a greater enemy. I think it definitely brings out some different things in everyone. So Fingers crossed that that's what's gonna happen. So yeah, it was a really good episode, you guys. This season has been fantastic so far, and I cannot wait to see what's coming. Part of me really hopes that Rebecca's coming back at some point as well. I know the actress left for a break for a bit, but I don't know if that was permanent. I don't know. I hope that she has had some time off and that she comes back, even if it's just for a couple of episodes. I would absolutely love that. I would love to hear what you guys thought about this week's episode. And yeah, that's it for me. I will see you guys again soon. Bye.